The artist that I'm going to talk about today has got a very interesting story. First of all, he's got a very vibrant fan base. I can see his fan base growing into a tribe, just like Oliver Mtukudzi's fans. I remember when I was invited to USA in 2018, I was craving for salsa, and one of my relatives in the Tuku tribe saw my post, and she came with her husband, and our relationship started as part of the Tuku tribe. So that's where I see this guy's fans going. And one of his fans is a gentleman by the name of Mr. Gijima. I've never attended any of his shows and never saw this guy. The fans have got their own WhatsApp group where they discuss what to wear on the next show. So if you go to their shows, you notice everybody is putting on blue, everybody is wearing red. They would have discussed it. He's also somebody who has managed to show everybody in Zimbabwe that you can be inspired by somebody but not copy that person. Because this man was inspired by Oliver Mtukudzi, but he went on to develop his own sound. Because what happens is every time you are learning an instrument, there's no way you can learn without playing other artists' songs. There's a stage where we call the copying stage, where you can copy your idols or the people that inspire you. But it's only a station, you don't live there. It's a place of temporary residence. You move away and you develop your sound so that you can contribute something new to the music industry. Because if you are original, you are going to contribute something that has never been contributed before. But if you mimic somebody, you are just recycling, you are just reinventing the wheel, so there's nothing interesting. The artist that we are going to talk about today was born on the 25th of October 1974. He was born in Shurugwi at a clinic that was close to his mother's rural home in Chivi, because his mother is from Chivi. But his father is from Wedza, Kuchigondo. That's where he comes from. That's where my mother also comes from. So we are related. And he's my sekuru. We only discovered it 3-5 years ago. And the good thing is that started to run my babies. I'm just joking. Yeah, but we discovered it recently that we are related. So he grew up in Wedza, Chigondo area, and after grade 3, after completing his grade 3 at St. Margaret Primary School, he moved to Bulawayo. From grade 4 up to adulthood, he was in Bulawayo, and that made him able to speak Shona fluently and speak Ndebele fluently. And it's something that I really admire a lot, because I wish that in future schools in Harare will start teaching Ndebele and schools in Bulawayo will start teaching Shona. I know that in Zimbabwe or Tagara we are united, but I think if that happens, that will increase our bonding, because we're very united people. So I think that's one area that's lacking. We need all the Harare people to learn Ndebele. So if it's taught in schools, I think it's a good idea. So from grade 4 up to grade 7, he was at Bidwo Primary School in Bulawayo. Then he went on to do his secondary education at Northley High School in Bulawayo as well. Then he graduated as a commercial designer from Bulawayo Polytechnic. So what we can learn from this is it just doesn't depend on music. Like I always say, good music is a very big hassle. So I always advise people, when you are entering into music, you can begin by making music the side hustle whilst having a main hustle. And then when the side hustle, which is music, begins to pay more than the main hustle, maybe you can leave the main hustle, but it's very dangerous for you to just come into the music industry as a full-time artist straight away from nowhere, and then you just start as a full-time artist. I did it, and I got my fingers bent, so I shouldn't be that person that says just because I went through the fire, I want everybody to go through the fire. No, let's be responsible. If you went through something because you made a mistake, you mustn't let other people who come after you make the same mistake. So my advice is, even if you're still at school, don't run away from school just because you notice that you can sing. Remain in school, finish your education. You need it as well. You need that education, perma contracts and everything. He's married to Olga and they've got 2 children, Yanai and PY. His wife is very, very supportive. She's there most of the gigs and cheering her husband from the crowd. And the reason why I mentioned this is most youngsters today, they don't know that marriage is such a crucial thing. And I always say marriage is a business decision. Whoever you marry is going to affect your dreams, is going to affect your career, is going to affect everything. So you really need to choose carefully. Because these days youngsters just choose someone to marry based on the beauty or based on how good the body is. But guys, when you start having marital problems, that beauty doesn't work. That beautiful body doesn't work. They all have private parts. So you need somebody with brains. A man with a hustle needs a woman with a vision, not a slave queen who likes to party. If you're a musician, you really need wife material women. And women are not the same. They're different. There are wife material women and a Power Ranger. And you can never make anything sensible with the Power Ranger. 2 days ago, there's somebody who called me saying he wanted to learn guitar. I gave him the quotation and he was asking me advice, saying, what do I do? Because my wife doesn't support my dream and she's always beating me up, blah, blah, blah. How are you choosing your wives? Because do you know what suicide rates they are shooting, shooter around the world. And one of the reasons you just pick any Power Ranger or Sangana Power and then you marry. I've got this guy who was older than me, so I used to call him Koma. And every time we went out to play and he would meet those prostitutes that dance chippies in the bars. And after 2-3 days, he'll be introducing you that prostitute. I told her, don't my guru. And every time I got out of my problems and in struggles and it's a topic into the video. So my point didn't go to Paguti. Guys, especially in the music industry, you really need to get married to somebody who is wife material. Avoid my Power Ranger. And these days it's very easy because when you go check as well, post up on social media, you can tell with the Power Ranger. So I'm not here to tell you what to do, it's just a tip. When he was in grade 6, he formed a group that used to perform with at school. But it's a sign of things to come. I still remember when I was in primary school, I also formed my group, Ryan's JCJ, with Jonas Yenge, Jerry Parwada, who is now in Australia. And it was a group, but we managed to create something and inspire ourselves, and it was a sign of things to come. But later on, he joined the Northly Marimba group. So Marimba was the first instrument that he was able to play. After having said that, I think it's very good for schools and parents to identify their children's talents and try to encourage them. And besides encouraging them, you also need to tell them the pros and the cons of whatever career that they want to take. If I had that chance myself, I think I would have been in a much better place, but my father was very much against the idea of me getting into the music industry. But it was not coming from a bad place. It's not like he was abusive. No, it's just because in music industry. There are a number of artists who had tarnished the name of the music industry. They would just go around impregnating girls and not getting married. They would be drinking all over, and so it was up to us to clean it up. So I refused to give up the dream politely, and then I made it a point that I wanted to prove to my father that I can be a musician who is married, who is a responsible father, who is a father who is present, not just responsible but present in my children's lives, who loves the mother. You know how it is. Loving your children, it's a package. Or loving your child, it's a package. A child will never feel loved if you love her and hate his mother or hate her mother. I mean, kana mapabate papa. Ona. Because vanazhinji vanoshamisa kuti, why is my child rebellious? Ndokuda sering ndomutengera zvinhu zvese zvaanoda. But the problem ndekuti hauda amai vake. Ona. So a child views love as a complete package. It's a package. You have to love the child, you have to love the mother as well. Ona. Ndokuti mwana anazofila kuti ndikudiwa panapa. The same thing even nyangwe uri amai vacho. The child feels loved kana uchimuda uchida baba wake futi. Uchirespect baba wake futi. Kuti kuti unongochimudza kuti baba wako ibenzi, baba wako akadai. Once you do that, mwana yakutokura achitofila fatherless. Because once akatanga disrespect baba wake, atodzidza ku disrespect authority, and you disrespect even your authority as well. So it's something joti tingwarire as we raise up our kids. But ndango mention as wangu as part of what I was saying, kuti I wanted to prove to my parents that I can be a responsible father whilst being a musician. A responsible father who is present in his children's lives, who loves his children, who loves his wife, and surugita child spacing foot on. So on Friday, the 12th of October 2001, my own father called me and he said, you know what, you've managed to prove yourself. So you now have my blessings. And let me tell you something, even to those who are religious, there is no blessing that is more powerful more than your father's blessing or your mother's blessing. That's the biggest blessing you can ever have. Somebody asked me, who is your spiritual father? And I told him, my spiritual father happens to be my biological father. Because hakuna mwana blessing inokufura ya baba wangu. And my spiritual mother happens to be my biological mother, because there is no one who has got a bigger blessing on my life more than my mother. So my father called me on the 12th of October 2001 and blessed me, and he said with his own words, you now have my blessings. And for sure, doors started opening. I started teaching at the Zimbabwe College of Music, teaching at Prince Edward School. 2003, I joined the Oliver Mtukudzi. Boom, things started happening. So big up to my father. He's late now, but big up to him. In 1999, Victor Kunonga moved to Harare, the capital city. And as soon as he moved to Harare, he enrolled at the Zimbabwe College of Music to learn how to play the guitar. So this also helps to answer the multitude of people who always ask me on Facebook, I'm 20-something, is it possible for me to learn a guitar? I'm 30-something, I'm 40-something. It's never too late to learn an instrument. Victor Kunonga started learning to play the guitar from zero when he came to Harare in 1999 on. So he started writing songs after that, and I always encourage all songwriters to learn how to play an instrument, because it really opens up your mind to what music is. And constructors say, when you start to know how to construct your chords, how chords work and everything, it's a huge advantage to you. So I can say to all composers, learn an instrument, you are going to thank me later. So after learning to play, he then went on to record his first album. So the first time he recorded the album, it disappeared. The computer crashed. So it's a lesson again, but one disadvantage with computer technology is things can crash, so you really need to back up. And right now we've got a lot of ways to back up music. So but he re-recorded the album, and it had a number of hits, especially My Darire. It was a huge hit. My Darire. And it introduced Zimbabwe to another new act, and up to now he's still in the game. So after releasing the album, everybody thought he was going to be another Tuku copycat, because he was inspired by Tuku, but he went on to grow. And did you know that you can grow within the same genre? Because usually people think growing means you have to change the genre and start copying my genre. You know how much I hate kupa music. But Victor Kunonga, just like Oliver Mtukudzi himself, he just grew within his genre, within his music. Music. So he grew, and he created something of his own. Right now he's got a very unique blend of Zimbabwean music that's very percussive and very danceable, but in each much slow groove, so and he's doing very well. So for the jam session today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fish out a jam session that I did with him. So here we go.
Oh yeah. Zola. Zola mix.
Zola no nickname. Kana kaita bedroom sana.
Monolio Studio, the harmony of quality and professionalism.